Hello, welcome back to everyone. You know, I was here in Chicago and folks said to me, Dr. Mussoline, school's starting. You have to do the opening message. And I said, I got so excited that school was starting again that we're going to get back to the kids, back to our profession, the greatest profession in the world, back to Downingtown, the greatest school district in Pennsylvania and probably even here in Chicago. It's better than any of the Chicago districts. I said, I'm going to do my opening message right here, right on Navy Pier, right in Chicago. So here we are. And here I am to say, welcome back to everyone. It's great to see you. Well, I guess I'm not quite seeing you now, but I will on Monday. I'll be at all of your schools. I'll stop into all the classrooms, wave and say hello, and I can't wait to do that on Monday, as I know you can't wait to get back to the students on Monday. I'm going to be brief. This is going to be a great school year. It's going to be a wonderful school year. We've got some really big issues that we tackled last year that this year we'll begin to implement fully. For example, the 6th grade center. As I'm talking to you right now in Chicago, the 6th grade center is being erected right in front of us. We've got a lot of steel up, the walls are going up. We're looking to get the roof up sometime by October, November, be undercover during the winter, and next year at this time, maybe I'll be broadcasting from the 6th grade center. So the 6th grade center program is being developed by Tom Mulvey, Principal Mulvey, and many of the 6th grade teachers. And that's about as exciting as can be. We certainly are planning some site visits to other schools that have 6th grade centers around us. We're planning some excellent educational programming, and we're going to spend this year working on that 6th grade center. So next year when we come here, and our organizational pattern is K through 5, then everybody comes to the 6th grade center. Then we've got another organizational issue. We now have 2 7th and 8th grade centers. I call them upper middle schools now. I'm not sure what the official name will be, but we'll have two centers of 7th and 8th grade students. So this year, we need to plan for those centers. And we've got Principal Ross and Principal Indaglio, Dr. Indaglio, by the way, who will be planning those centers with their 7th and 8th grade staff and myself. So we've got a lot of educational planning to do this school year. And with those changes may come some other changes that we'll talk about during the course of the school year. We're planning some busing changes and some time changes, and you'll know more about those as we move into September and we make formal presentations. We're entering into the creation of a cyber program. With the finality of last year's teacher contract, we've got the ability to create a very nice cyber program. And one of the things our teachers told us, they said, Larry, we'd like to run the cyber program. We would like to be a part of the cyber program. We want to teach in it. We want to create it. So one of the things we're looking at right now, when I get back from Chicago here, one of the first things we're going to be doing is holding interviews for the new cyber education coordinator. And that person is going to be working with our teachers and working with all of our principals, Principal Campbell, Principal Hurley, and Principal Barker, Kurt Barker, new to us at Downingtown West High School. And all 3 of our principals will be working with myself and the cyber coordinator and a lot of our secondary teachers. We'll start in the secondary program on looking at cyber and blended alternatives for all of our students for next school year. And to get that in the course of study, we've got to move on some of those planning issues. We're looking at school safety. Just a few days ago, before I left for Chicago, we had a school safety summit. It's the first time in the history of Downingtown that about 50 people gathered. All of your principals were there. Your teacher leaders were there from DAEA. We had a few board members, And we had most of our key people from local law enforcement present. And we talked about the physical plant changes, the surveillance changes, and drilling and practicing in preparation for something that we hope we will never have to encounter. But school safety and school security is very important to us. So that's an issue and a priority for us this year. We'll be looking at implementing a very innovative world language sequence in the Downingtown Area School District. I believe it will put us on the cutting edge, and in 8 to 12 years, I'm really hoping that we see students graduating from our high school fluent in a language. So next year, as we open the 6th grade center, and we have to talk about redistricting. We got the redistricting students back into their elementary schools, and we have our new upper middle schools open, and we've got our cyber program in effect. We're going to also be starting a very interesting language program, world language program, where we're going to use Rosetta Stone next year with our elementary students. We're excited about that because what that does is it gets the program in the hands of parents and young students. So while the engaged time at school might not be that much, it would be very much like an encore, like any of our encores are, which is to provide experience, to provide some sort of example of just a simple way of looking at language or a simple way of looking at art, give them some background in it, but giving it to them for an entire year, giving the program to parents and children, I think will reap some benefits. Maybe not 100%, but I think a good many of our students and parents will use it. Then language is being introduced in the 6th grade center 3 days a week with teachers. Excuse me, and that's going to be very innovative and very important to us in the whole language sequence. Then in that upper middle school, 7th and 8th grade, we'll begin full-blown everyday language acquisition, and that would carry on into our high school. So we really believe that we'll have students, many students, graduating in AP languages in a few years in Downingtown with that sequence. So that's really exciting planning for. We talked about redistricting. Last year, the Board of Education took on a major redistricting project, and we did it, I think, without all the fanfare and without all the negativity that usually comes with redistricting a school district with 12,600 students and 16 schools and 100 square miles. So I think that was very successful and done very well on the part of our board members. So now, this year, we've got to work on transitioning students to their new schools, transitioning parents. Our principals will be working with our teachers. We'll be having various sessions throughout the course of the year where new students will be coming in to their new elementary schools for next school year. We're looking at a minor redistricting in our secondary level where one neighborhood will be moving from East High School's boundaries to the west boundary, and that's not going to happen for a few years. But we're planning the transition now. We're looking at a literacy and a numeracy focus, especially in grades K through 8. So let's talk about numeracy. We're starting a new math program, a very exciting math program that basically is called a Singapore math program, and it's looking at math more in line with the Common Core and the way math should be taught in real-life ways, understanding it, spiraling it, understanding the concepts, and really getting deep into higher-level math concepts at a younger age. That's going to be a major change in our curricular program. If we're going to introduce new textbooks, K through 8, and a new way of teaching, and a new way of grouping, and a new way of assessing, we're probably going to see some implementation dips in that program. We understand that. You understand. You've been at this long enough. It's not going to be just perfectly smooth and clear. We hope it will be, But we know when we introduce things, especially into a large system, there's going to be bumps in the road, misunderstandings. We're going to work with you. I know our professional development this year is centered around that new math curriculum, especially in grades K to 8. So we wish those folks well. We know it's always scary implementing something new, but we're excited about this change. And many districts around us are doing the same thing. Literacy is also a focus. Our math scores, interestingly enough in Downingtown, are higher than our literacy scores. I don't understand why. I still think it's an anomaly some way, but it is a testament to our teachers in math, and especially in our teachers in grades 3 through 8 and 11, because they're the testing grades that we can get this data from. And our math scores are exceptional in all of those grades. So kudos to all of you. We hope we can keep them that high even while introducing this new series. That said, our reading scores are just a little bit lower. Nothing that I think would cause anyone to fret, but something that we want to improve upon in Downingtown. If we're looking at a continuous improvement philosophy in Downingtown, we constantly want to get better. So while our math scores might be 92, 94, we'd like to see them at 95, 96. Our reading scores are at 89, 90, we like to see them at 92 and 94. So we're going to be focusing a little more on reading, maybe doing some open-ended questions using Study Island and things that we might have gotten away from in our elementary program that we have to come back to, as well as those level readers in the Fontes and Pinnell testing that caused a little bit of an implementation dip last year. Now this year we hope it should be smoother. All of the children coming into our elementary program should have reading levels already assigned, and we're hoping that will go very smoothly this year, and we'll be able to move on getting those kids to move into higher reading levels. So numeracy and literacy focus. Comprehensive planning is just about finished, and I may be doing a revisioning process with all of you. And that might entail an internet questionnaire that will go out to parents and students. Almost like when I came in the district 4 years ago and we called it an entry plan. This time we're going to call it a revisioning plan. And we're going to check our vision, check where our goals are, check the comprehensive plan, and then come up with hopefully an idea and a vision for the next couple of years as we hopefully move together through the Downingtown Area School District. We still have our technology initiatives, our BYOD initiative, and our secondary program we hope will take off. One of the things we want to make sure of in that BYOD program, and as we make technology ubiquitous in the hands of students, we want to make sure our teachers understand how to use it and work with it. So one of the things that Jen Sachs is going to work with our professional development coordinator, Ray Case, is really how to use this technology in your classroom, especially when you have multiple devices. Certainly, internet usage and using various websites in class should be a lot easier if students have their own device. And I would say to our secondary folks, please encourage it. The world is all about these devices. So I even have my device here in Chicago. I don't want to drop it in the river, but I have my device with me. And if any time I need something, I can ask Siri on my device, because this is an Apple device, or I can just look it up on the internet. And you know what? That's the world that we live in. We carry these around, and we've got an entire library in our pockets. So we've got to teach our kids ways to use that and really get above that into analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and creativity as we get into Bloom's taxonomy. Common and formative assessments are going to be something that you're going to be working with Jen Saxa and Linda McNeil this year in many of our curricular groups that we have. We believe that our curricular program last year of trying to build relationships in learning communities, if you will, on those Wednesdays, we believe that was a success. Well, again, implementation dips, We started it. We learned some things from it. We've got great curriculum leaders. We've got great grade level leaders, excellent people committed to this and committed to working together, in learning communities for the betterment of our students. That's what this is all about. It's about nothing else except working together. So that will continue this year. And lastly, we've got another nuance from our friends at the state of Pennsylvania in the Commonwealth. We've got a new teacher evaluation system, mandated in law this year, codified, and all of the regs are out. It's all on the PDE website as to how we're supposed to supervise and evaluate every teacher in the Commonwealth. Our principals will be working with you on that. And last year, Jen Saxa and her professional learning committee created a differentiated supervision program for us. So your principals are going to be talking to you about ways that you can be supervised other than having a principal come in and sit in your class and write something down for our excellent teachers. And we literally have hundreds of experienced, excellent teachers that we don't need to sit in their classroom and jot down notes and then come back and tell them they did a great job. There's probably a little more with action research, a little more that you can do and get more out of that would still count for your observation. And that's what a differentiated supervision program does. And there's a couple of different areas that you can choose to go into. And we believe that will help us and also tie in to this new evaluation system that's mandated by the state. By the way, next year, your principals will have a new evaluation system also. Folks, welcome back. I know I took too long. I promised that I wouldn't. Guys, remember a couple of things. You're extremely important. This is the greatest profession in the world that you got yourself involved with. This is my 35th year, and while I'm in Chicago, I can't wait to get started with you when I get back tomorrow. Remember this, we're in a nice affluent community. We're in a beautiful community in Downingtown. We are extremely lucky to be in a community to work and teach these children in this community. But remember that in many instances, the nicest person that child will see all day are you folks, the folks that I'm talking to. The impact that you have, you don't realize. None of us do. But it is absolutely off the charts impactful to children. And many children that really look up to you, that need that smiling face every day, that you don't think they need that smiling. You think they come from great households, and whether they do or don't, some of the nicest people that our kids see all day are right there in the room that you're in. It's you. So thank you for the work that you do. Have a great school year. I'll see you all Monday, and welcome back. Let me go back to enjoying Chicago.